So today we are starting our first show, our first podcast.
Yep.
This has been talked about for 2 weeks. We've been talking about doing this.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So we're a couple of Jagoffs, Pittsburgh-based podcast.
Yes.
I claim everything in Pittsburgh with the Pirates. I don't know about you, but I claim everything.
Oh yeah.
About the Pirates.
It's a shame.
Just with the current situation and everything going on.
It's terrible.
I'm sort of not claiming them as a Pittsburgh team right now.
But you still gotta hold them true to their heart.
I'll wear their hats. I'll wear the merchandise.
It's the Pittsburgh
That's
way.
about as far as I'm gonna get. Well, my name's Casey.
I'm Michael.
And we're gonna be your host today on this lawfully wonderful podcast, and we're gonna be talking about some great topics today. I'm gonna start pretty early and easy. I'm going right to James Harrison. I don't like anything about the way he did or went at anything about anything but the Steelers. If I'm a firm believer that if your heart is not in something, then why are you doing it? I don't think that's the case. I don't think his heart's not in it because he's 39 years old, so I feel like he wants to be here.
Is he 39 or 40?
He's 39.
Is he 39?
Yeah, he's 39. So what my big thing is you're signed to arguably one of the best teams in professional football, I would say, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he, until all the other stuff came out prior to this, like him not going to meetings or him just blah, blah, like all the stuff Bud Dupree basically talked about came out. I don't really understand how I should feel. Like, should I be angry? I don't.
I think this whole situation is blown out of proportion. I mean, he's a 39-year-old linebacker. He's an outside linebacker. The Steelers have T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree as their outside linebackers. So, of course, you're going to play them over 39-year-old James Harrison.
Well, that's the way I looked at it.
Well,
I said the exact same thing. So you're gonna play him over those two. I mean, I get it. I mean, the dude's 39 years. Like, that's old. Like, I'm not saying that to be a jerk. Like, no offense, I don't want James Harrison coming and knocking on my door if somehow he hears this podcast. And,
oh yeah.
I mean, I think the whole situation's blown out of proportion. I think, like, I don't think that the fact that they should have released him the way they did. I think that it was all like, I don't know. It's a touch subject to explain. Like, but I don't see him playing at all in New England. I don't see him getting on the field that easy. I just don't see it.
Well, I mean, New England does have a thin linebacking core with like Dante Hightower injured for the year and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Belichick does this stuff to try and get information out of him, and I mean, I just don't think it's a big deal. I think it's blown out of proportion.
I think the Steelers should not be worried about it. I think you're going into the playoffs to secure second round. I mean, to be truthfully honest, I think we should have beat New England.
Well,
I know you're completely biased to this, that it wasn't a catch.
It was not.
It's a catch. By the rule, it's not a catch. But it should have been a catch, and you know it as well as I do.
Well, yeah. Well,
don't at me.
No, but by rule, it's not a catch. The rule is just stupid.
No, I'm not arguing
That's
that.
what it is.
I can't argue that point.
That's what it is.
But so I was on Twitter today in Pittsburgh at SteelCurtain4. Please follow me back, please, after I shout you out on this. They were talking about what Bud Dupree said was people going in on Coach Tomlin saying that the Steelers are dumb and Harrison's going to tell if he tells the whole playbook, that's his fault. I didn't see him in meetings, so I don't know if he knows the plays or not. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. I truly think that's so funny that we know it as well as, I mean, the Patriots have done this in the past. It's not nothing new, but I don't know. I'm so blown away by this whole situation. I don't think when he went to Cincy, I didn't think this was the end of the world. I think everybody's happy to see him in Pittsburgh. I know when I was there Sunday when they announced him for the defense when he was activated, they went berserk still for him.
Yeah.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But one of the big things and I want to like James Harrison. I truly do. Now I'm a little bit shaky and timid toward my views upon him.
Yeah.
James, please don't find me. You're bigger than me, and you will hurt me. Please don't find me. But I thought one of the coolest things ever was when he warmed up with no shirt on to honor Ryan Shazier. But then the reports come out 2 weeks later that he didn't visit him in the hospital. So I don't know what to believe.
Well,
I don't.
Well, I think that thing about the hospital was, I think he definitely saw him in the hospital. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know don't know it, but it almost seemed like he didn't go with the linebackers, like as the team.
Yeah, that's
because
I think he might. I mean, what if he just went by himself?
He put that thing. Yeah.
What if he just went personally by himself and said, like, I'm gonna go visit him on my own. Nobody. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I want to do it on a personal level. I don't need so-and-so, Bud Dupree, G.J. Watt, everybody there at one time. Maybe I just want to go get a one-on-one with Ryan and just see how he's holding up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way the 39-year-old James Harrison.
I'm gonna throw veteran in there.
Veteran. He's a 13. I don't know how many years he's played. 13 or so.
Neither do I.
Like
I haven't looked at it.
There is no way he's gonna watch one of his fellow linebackers get hurt and like a serious injury, like say Shazier, and not go to the hospital.
Yeah, well, I said the same.
Unless
the same
you're
thing.
A complete, Yeah,
I said the same. I don't think James Harrison. I think James Harrison's catching rap for being a bad dude because he signed with the Patriots. But I think what he did could have been 100 times worse. I mean, Ray Lewis, arguably. I'm not getting into that subject. I don't want to talk about that. But
well, let me hit you up with something real quick. So Joey Porter said this. Joey Porter said the Steelers' plan was to go with the young guns and use Harrison if needed. That was from DK Sports. So, and I agree. That should have been the plan, and that's what they did. They used Harrison if they needed him. And Harrison can't play inside linebacker like Shazier. So that's why they brought in Sean Spence.
No, I agree. I agree. I think that's 100% true. I think that's the best thing. Well, you have TJ Watt. TJ Watt's tearing it up right now.
Yeah.
Tearing it up.
Oh, yeah.
Tearing it up. But I don't understand the magnitude of the situation. I truly don't understand, like, okay, he signed with New England. Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful. Like, okay, cool. Like, the guy's still in the NFL, so what's the big deal? I get it. Listen, I hate the Patriots just as much as the next guy. I don't like them. I don't like Belichick. I respect Tom Brady. I think I'm going to go as far as I say I respect Tom Brady.
You have to.
I think you have to, certainly.
You have to.
In this point in time, you have to. To move forward to this, because we can sit and talk about this for hours and hours, but currently, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I don't know what my thoughts are going into the playoffs. I don't know, because I think they're going to get a Jacksonville is what it sort. I think that's what it looks like. I haven't looked at anything to see. We have one more week to see where everybody finishes up.
Well, I mean, if Jacksonville wins the first round, we'll play Jacksonville. The way it's because Jacksonville's going to get third place.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm looking at. That's what I'm thinking. Well, thinking too.
I think against Jacksonville, whenever they played them during the regular season, it was just a complete. It was a mess. A mess.
Well, I think too. That game was what? What game was that? Going into the year, was that the third game?
Third or fourth.
But okay, I'm not saying this to defend anybody or anything. I'm not trying to be 110% biased towards Ben Roethlisberger, saying that there's not a big Ben Roethlisberger fathead currently sitting on my wall or anything. But I think the big thing about football is finding a groove, and a lot of people talk about that all the time. Just if you find a groove, you get into that zone when you're playing. Le'Veon Bell is great at this. When Le'Veon Bell finds a groove, you can't stop him.
Well, Le'Veon Bell didn't get the ball against Jackson. Le'Veon Bell did not get the ball against Jacksonville.
I thought you were trying to mention one of the Lamar Ball sons.
Oh, no.
Right there.
No.
But
Le'Veon Ball.
But
Sorry, Le'Veon.
No, you're right. I think to win, I don't know about you guys, but I'm 100%. I think the Steelers can make a run at this. I truly think, in my mind, that New England game was the biggest confidence builder that they needed. I think they needed that to say, okay, we can go toe to toe with these guys. We can go toe to toe, one on one, look these guys in the eye and say, okay, we can play with you. But now the defense showed up in that game. Besides the fact of Rob Gronkowski, I hate to start bringing the Patriots back up in this. I got to get off the subject to them.
But what I don't understand is you were stopping you held Gronk in check for the whole pretty much 3 quarters of the game.
Oh,
the first 3 quarters. And then, it comes down to the final stretch when New England needs a touchdown, and you do not double team their best receiver.
Yeah,
He's their best receiver.
We talked about this the other day. Yeah, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. That if you're Keith Butler, do you double coverage him?
You have to.
I don't know how you double cover a tight end though.
You have to. It doesn't matter
unless he's split wide.
You have to double cover him.
Yeah,
because no offense to Sean Davis can't handle Rob Gronkowski. Nobody in the league can probably handle Rob Gronkowski 1-on-1.
I agree.
Gronk's a fucking beast.
He's nuts.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he's nuts. He's nuts. He's a beast, and everybody I think in the NFL or a fan of football will agree. He just Pittsburgh native, by the way, just so everybody knows that. Woodland Hills.
Yep.
Shout out to Woodland Hills. I don't know anybody from Woodland Hills.
Only did 1 year, but
I only know Rob Gronkowski was there 1 year.
Then Arizona.
But he was a half Yinzer for a point in time.
Yeah.
Just like all of us sitting here currently.
But he's good. I
can't take it. I can't singly take it from him that. But with that being said, I also think that they have a great shot going forward in the playoffs. I think everything is shaping up defensively that you need. I think everything's sort of shaping up. You're going to get Antonio Brown back. That's a big plus going into the playoffs.
Yeah, he should be ready for the divisional round.
That's what they said. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so the only thing that scares me, the linebacking core scares me a little bit with Sean Spence. Of course, Ryan Shazier is obviously way better than Sean Spence, but
wow, I love it.
But it just worries me a little bit. But I think, in all honesty, I think they'll be fine because I just think I have a gut feeling that they'll be fine. It won't bite them.
I've tweeted out before. Ben's still my quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. He could throw 7 interceptions, and I'm still going to love him as my quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And so at New England, we'll see you, hopefully. Don't lose this week to the Jets, because if you do, you're going to be the laughingstock of the NFL because the Jets are a joke. And
they're not that bad this year.
But I still would love to see them beat New England. That's a rivalry game. That's sort of a rivalry game.
Oh, yeah. They'll play them tough, but New England will pull away at the end.
I hope not. But
I just think one more thing before we move on. I just think the biggest thing going into the playoffs is that Ben, Brown, and Bell need to be healthy, stay healthy. If that happens, they have a good shot.
I agree.
All the way.
I 100% agree.
Good shot.
Shout out to Wizard of Boz too, by the way, for all the game winners this year.
True. If it wasn't for you,
before I leave, before we stop with the Steelers here and move on to the Penguins, I'm just gonna throw a shout out to Juju on. I think he got Steelers rookie of the year. I think he got it. They tweeted it out yesterday. So, shout out to you, Juju. Please add me back on PlayStation. That'd be fantastic. I need a new COD partner because my other teammates are worrying me sometimes. But you wanted to go into the Penguins. This is your bread and butter, so you're sort of going to take over here a little bit. This is sort of your bread and butter a little bit. I know you've been itching to talk about this because I'm a hockey guy, but I don't know a lot about hockey, so this is your bread and butter. So I'm anxious to see you go at this and go at it a little bit full bore. So I'm going to sort of sit here and unwind a little bit while you rip apart some people in the NHL and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Shout out to Phil Kessel, though.
Yeah.
Phil's
the only one who's playing right now. He shows up every night. Phil shows up every night. Sid and Gino aren't playing that bad, but Phil is definitely the MVP of this team right now.
I don't know. I'm gonna agree. Everything you say, I'm basically gonna agree.
Good.
Because I don't really know a lot about hockey, so
that's fine.
I don't know a lot about the game. I know you pay attention to the game more than any person. I think I know. So go for it. It's all you, buddy. You can take the mic. Go ahead.
Well, I just think right now, they are just, I don't know. Words can't describe how bad they're playing. It's just fundamental stuff. Like I went to the game Saturday on the 23rd against Anaheim, and it was just terrible. Just lazy with the puck, turnovers, led to goals. Matt Murray could not come up with a timely save, and it just really made me mad. I left during the second intermission. I never did that before, and I don't know how many Penguin games I went to.
Well, we were there. We were there. What? It was here. It was right for Thanksgiving.
They played Vancouver.
They were playing Vancouver, and we laugh about it because Kessel, his stick broke. What was it? His stick broke or something, and it stopped the puck. The dude went down and scored.
Yeah,
and it was weird because we were like, this happens to us all the time on PS4.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And then a lot of people are saying like the amount of hockey they played has a factor, and I agree.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. See, this is the point. I don't know about hockey. I pay attention to the Penguins and everything, but see, my big thing was I was saying was I asked you this the other day. Would you be mad if they didn't make the playoffs?
Yes, it's inexcusable.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how mad would you be?
Through the roof.
Well, I'm not.
No, but it's inexcusable because when you have elite talent, Sid's hands down one of the best players in the world, if not the best.
I think Sid's the best player in the world.
I think so too.
Everybody.
I mean, McDavid's pretty good, but
you guys can comment in the section.
You
guys can comment.
I mean, Malkin is a top 5 player in the world. Phil Kessel has one of the best shots in the game.
I still think that I said to a guy last night. My dad and I were eating dinner, and I said, you know what? Watch these dudes show up, and they're just gonna erupt going into playoffs. It's happened. It happened before, and it could gladly happen again. I'd be perfectly fine if Pittsburgh went and won another Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
to have a Super Bowl with that.
I mean,
the Steelers, please.
I mean, I'm not 100% worried yet because you don't have to start playing until April. As long as
you
make
said that the other
playoffs.
night, and I don't understand. So is that sort of like baseball? Like you don't have to play till October? Is that what you mean? Is that what you're saying?
As long as you get in the playoffs, you just gotta catch that streak. You got a streak like Nashville. Nashville limped into the playoffs last year. They barely got in, and then they caught fire, and they went all the way to the cup, and they hands down could have beat the Penguins last year. But
Yeah. That was an exciting series to watch.
Oh yeah, it was. It was a good series.
It was a great series to watch. Hockey is just an ultimate fun sport to watch. So if we have any fans out there that have never watched hockey, you need to start because it's the most enjoyable sport you'll ever watch.
Agreed.
To watch two people fist fight and go sit in the box
for 5 minutes and come back out and do it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the ultimate thrill ride.
So, over the past 2 years, the Penguins have played 213 games. That was the 2 back-to-back cup runs. And that's a lot of hockey. That is a lot of games. Then before last year, they had the World Cup of Hockey, which, Sid played in, Gino.
Is that where Sid hit the shootout goal for Canada or whatever and won it or something like that?
I don't.
Well, Sid played for Team Canada, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he hit a game-winning shootout goal or something. I'm almost positive he hit like a shootout goal or something to win. I don't know. It was something like that. It involved Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
So, Sid, follow me back on Twitter, please.
Okay, so then the World Cup was an extra 4 to 6 games for those top stars, and then they've played 38 games this year. And that is a lot of hockey. And
that's what I was saying to you the other day, and you I don't want to use the word defensive. I don't want to use the word defensive a lot towards you because you'll get a little angry at me. But you sort of got a little offended by that and got defensive with me when I said they played a lot of hockey, and I said, well,
they have.
But I said, well, I was saying was if they, for some automatic reason, something happens, say a star goes down, is that a liable reason that they don't make the playoffs, or is it still inexcusable?
Inexcusable. This team is. If Sid goes down, Gino steps up when Sid goes out. It's been renowned. It's what happens. If Gino goes out, Sid can carry the load. I mean, now if you lose 2 or 3 guys, that's a different thing.
I understand that.
Well, I mean, any team would go
going forward with this Penguin discussion, so it's time for the Winter Classics coming around. Yeah. And I was gonna ask you this the other day. In your opinion, what's your favorite Winter Classic moment?
Well, it has to be the first game when Sid scored that shootout goal.
That's what I figured. That's what I figured you were gonna say.
I mean, not being biased or anything. It's just it was the first Winter Classic. It was snowing in Buffalo. Sid scored a shootout goal. You can't beat that.
I liked On the Ice and Beyond with Crosby. I don't know if you ever watched the DVD or whatever. They released it whenever. But one of the coolest things I think I've ever saw somebody do was when Sid bounced a puck over the dude in that game.
Yeah,
the bouncing puck.
Yep.
That was the coolest thing ever to me. And I was like, from here on out, every time I attempt to play street hockey, I'm gonna try to do that, and it's not gonna look as good as Sid, but it's gonna get close to it. I hope one day. But I think one of the coolest things for me was, I mean, I know the Capitals beat them when they played in Pittsburgh and everything, but the atmosphere of that game, I think, was the coolest thing ever because you were bringing a sport that is notoriously inside, but it's notoriously inside, but it's a cold sport. But now you're playing in Heinz Field, so that adds the element. Now you get the terrible towels. You get you're gonna look and now you're gonna be it's just the factors of everything. The Pittsburgh skyline, everybody talks about it all the time from Heinz Field.
I want them to play at PNC Park.
Yeah, that'd be
an outdoor game. It doesn't have to be Winter Classic.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Winter Classic, but an outdoor game would be awesome.
At PNC Park with the skyline, it'll be awesome.
Well, they can do it now because it's like 10 degrees outside.
Yeah, I know.
But so with that going on forward, what are your fixes? If you put yourself in Kevin Sullivan's shoes. No, it's Mike. Sorry, right?
Jeez, yeah.
It's Mike, right?
Yeah.
It's Mike Sullivan. Sorry, Mike Sullivan. Put yourself in Mike Sullivan's shoes right now. And if you're going into that locker room, say you're going to practice today, what is your main focus to fix on?
Well, I mean, one thing is they've lost a lot of key players last year. They lost Benino, they lost Kunitz, they lost Daly, Hainsey, Fleury. I mean, those are all. I mean, now Hainsey was just a rental player for the playoffs, but I just think they lost a lot. And the offseason for Rutherford was a little shaky, a lot of people say. They traded their first-round pick to St. Louis to get Ryan Reeves.
Now he's sort of starting to pan out a little bit for them.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people hate the trade, but the thing is, they brought Reeves in. He'll stand up for the players.
Well, that was my big thing because I think I said that to you on the way down to the game. We were playing NHL one night on PS4, and I asked you that question. I said, is that the reason they signed Reeves, is sort of to protect Crosby a little bit, or to sort of protect some of your stars a little bit? So somebody at the Philadelphia Flyers Twitter account hits Sid the wrong way. Does Reeves step in? Is there a drawing line where he needs to step in and where he doesn't need to step in, you think?
Well, I mean, I think Sid and Gino and them are facing a lot less punishment with Reeves on the team because they know Reeves will go out there and handle business.
I was going to mention that to you. I think I peep in and out on the games when they're on TV. I know you watch all of them most of the time.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that same thing to you was I think their contact point has gone a little bit down, and nobody's really headhunting for Sidney Crosby or their goons for the other team. I don't know if that's still a term in hockey or not.
No.
Well, I'm going to use it. I don't care what anybody else thinks. You can comment below what you think. But I don't think anybody has legitimately went to headhunt Crosby or Malkin anymore as they should. Like normally, like Sid was taking a beating. I remember Sid's first fight. I don't know if you remember that in Boston. I remember Sid's first fight, and I thought it was the coolest. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, Sid's showing now that he'll go, like he'll go, and that's back when George LaRock was your bruiser. I don't know if you, George LaRock, good old George.
Yeah.
So George, if you're listening to this, you're welcome on this podcast anytime you want.
But I mean, a lot of people want major trades. They want to talk about trading Chris Letang. I mean, Letang has been a little shaky defensively.
I think he has his moments.
He has his moments. Defensively, he's been a little but offensively, he's putting up decent numbers. I can't hate him offensively because he's doing decent numbers. So I think trading someone like him or a core member of the team is not worth it. You're coming off 2 Stanley Cups and played a lot of hockey. I think making a major change just to try and glue together a team that might not be repairable to make another cup run is not worth it this year.
Would you rather have them kept Fleury and do something like that when they could, like when Fleury went to Vegas? Would you rather have Fleury or Murray? Because I know a lot of people are sitting here are very, very fed up with that like with him leaving and everything.
You had to protect Murray in the expansion draft. He's 23 years old. Fleury is 10 years older than him. That's something you had to do. And
Fleury's still going to be a living legend in Pittsburgh. So, that save he made against the Red Wings in the Cup final was just absolutely nuts.
I mean, I think maybe after Fleury is about ready to call it, maybe he'll come back to Pittsburgh for one last season, like a backup.
Well,
I'm sort of hoping.
Now you're putting that in perspective. Now I see where you're going with that because I'm putting that in perspective with James Harrison a little bit. Is now say New England releases James Harrison, do you go and re-sign him, or does he come back to Pittsburgh and resign and retire as a Steeler? I mean, look at
maybe he does like that 1 day contract thing.
That's sort of what I was thinking because who did Santonio Holmes did that this year, didn't he?
I think that's a possibility.
That's sort of what I'm thinking too. Is I think. Sort of, I think maybe they do that is maybe they give Fleury the 1 day contract that he sort of goes and comes back and maybe retires as a Penguin. I think he made his famous here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Fleury definitely will end up retiring a Penguin, but
He holds everybody's heart in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh,
he does.
and half of it at least in our hockey fans.
But you had to protect Murray. He won you 2 Stanley Cups. You just have to. I mean, sometimes Murray scares me back there because his glove hand's a little shaky. It's renowned. His glove hand is a little shaky, So I mean,
well, with that being said, moving forward, I'd like to see the Penguins make a run for it. I think it's possible.
oh yeah,
I think it's possible.
I mean, with the talent they have, if they catch a spark, I mean, I think they can. I think they have a good shot as anyone to win.
So before we leave this topic, is there any final thoughts you have going forward, or anybody you want to shout out going forward on Twitter or anything? Because I know a lot of people like to talk about things. I'm a big fan of Phil Kessel's ego on Twitter because it is very funny.
Yeah, Sid's ego is pretty funny too. I mean, sometimes
we're not trying to make enemies here, but
no. I mean, fundamentally, some things that Evgeny Malkin's ego says I disagree with. But I mean, no. I mean, the guy is he writes about his hockey points. It is excellent. It is excellent writing. He makes some funny tweets.
Your Twitter blew up when you tweeted at him the one time or whatever. I remember that because that was really funny. I enjoyed it. But
I mean, but the thing is, I don't know. I mean,
we're
again,
not here to burn bridges, so don't
No.
come at us at our throat, please. We're just trying to run a podcast here.
Yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff he says. He's still making a big deal about the Ryan Reeves trade for that got St. Louis a first-round pick, and now the first Klim Kostin, who's the guy St. Louis drafted, does one deke move on a 20-year-old Czech defenseman, the World Junior Champions, and he acts like that he is God's given talent. But I'm not getting into this.
Yeah, I truly don't think you should either. So, moving on from the Penguins here, I don't claim this team in Pittsburgh anymore. It's getting really hard to try to watch them. The Pittsburgh Pirates. I'll wear their merch, like I'll wear their hats and stuff still, but I really don't want to.
I still claim him.
I don't.
It hurts the heart, but you still claim him.
I think there's like a like not even a. My heart's huge, but there's a little piece in there that I want to be a Pirates fan. I want to sit here and say, yeah, man, I'm from Pittsburgh, man. We got the Pittsburgh Pirates. We got the Steelers. Okay, first of all, before I go any further, I would never place them over the Steelers. I'm sorry, but. Going with them is just a hard topic because the talent's there. It's there.
Yeah, we saw that a couple years ago when they made those runs. They were a 96 win team in baseball, second best record.
Yeah, it's there. There's spurts every year of them just being a phenomenal baseball team and not I shouldn't say phenomenal. I should say just being a contender.
Like last July, they were a game out in July. They were a game out of the Central, and then look what happened. They ended up being like 15 games out at the end of the year.
I'm saying I agree. I'm saying the same thing. I agree. Like you have a team here that you can build around. So why are we not spending money to go get a player that can help, or players for that matter, that'll come out here and they'll work, and the team will get better and everything progresses. Then now you're gonna start making a little bit more money, and now you have your seat value is gonna go up. Dude, that wild card playoff game, I think it was, that was so cool to see everybody just there in PNC Park to the Raptors, to the Raptors. And believe me, I've bought tickets in the Raptors. That's a pretty far view. Yeah. But I'm gonna go on record and say it. I don't know how you feel. PNC Park is the prettiest park in baseball to me.
I agree.
Don't at me.
I haven't been to others, but
yeah, I haven't been to many other either.
I mean, I know they say San Francisco has a nice ballpark. AT&T.
Wrigley. I think you could. Fenway.
I mean, Wrigley's
Fenway.
just more.
Fenway. I think Wrigley's more historic.
They're more historic parks. They're not necessarily nicer
than necessarily.
Heck, Wrigley's like 100 years old.
Yeah, then so are the Cubs.
Yeah.
At me.
Look at they won a World Series.
I like Chris Bryant. I'll go on there and say I like Chris Bryant.
I mean, Cubs are a good team. You can't hate on them. But,
oh no, I can hate on him, but I'm not going to.
I mean, you can't hate on it.
I want to claim the Pirates. I want to sit here and say that I'm a Pirates fan, but year after year, it just gets harder. I can't do it. I can't physically do it. You rise to the occasion. You get to where you want to be. What was that? 3 years ago?
Yep. 4 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago, you make dude, one of the most fondest memories I have is in that stands chanting Cueto or whatever.
Yeah.
He was pitching. It rattled him. It rattled him. It shows you that this city, it's why it's is arguably the most diehard fans you will see in the city, because now you get that ruckus crowd. You get that crowd that comes from Heinz Field or from PPG Paints, and they're revolving around the Pirates now. And now that wild crowd you see at Steeler games, you see at Penguin games, going deep in playoff runs. And now you see that at PNC Park, and you see what the city of Pittsburgh is capable of doing when you make a run.
Yeah, I mean, they can't. I mean, no one's going to come out to the ballpark when you're 10 games under 500.
I'm still shocked.
And you're out of contention.
Who are you even going for with the Yankees trade with Garrett Cole? I didn't see. Who are you pushing for?
They were talking about Clint Frazier being involved.
You know what?
He's
I did. Yeah, Clint. I did hear Clint Frazier.
See, I think what happens is if you trade Cole, it's going to be a domino effect. You trade Cole, he goes. Kutch follows. Harrison follows.
See,
three prominent players will follow.
I like Jay Hay a lot. I'm a big Jay Hay guy. Big Jay Hay guy.
But they're talking about trading him.
Yeah, and now he's in talks with going to where? I saw San Francisco as one of them.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, I don't want to see him leave the city of Pittsburgh. I think that he has a bright future here. Yeah. I think.
Two-time All-Star here.
You know what? I don't think Kutch is overrated as everybody says he is. He has spurts. He has his times. Every baseball player does. Coming from myself, that I play baseball, and baseball is a humbling game. So I'm telling you right now that if you hit 3 home runs one game, that next game you might struggle a little bit, because baseball is a humbling game. The baseball gods will knock you down. I'm such a believer in the baseball gods. Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah, I mean, Kutch had a bad 2016 season. This year he played pretty decent. He had a decent year this year, given how bad the Pirates ended up struggling, but.
Big fan of the Pirate throwback uniforms, by the way.
Yeah.
Big fan of the gold jerseys.
They are
big fan of the gold jerseys.
1979.
Yeah, big fan. Stars will star. Everything on the hats.
The glory years.
Love it. No, I truly think that, like you said, the domino effect is an accurate example, because I think if Garrett Cole gets out, then I'll see you, Andrew McCutchen. See you, bye. And that'll break the town of Pittsburgh's hearts.
Well, I mean,
my heart was broke when Kutch shaved his dreads off.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kutch.
But no, Cole has another year or two left on his contract. And then once he goes, they're not going to re-sign him.
Well, I thought if you're going to look to trade those two,
they're not going to get money. They're not going to fork over the money to sign Garrett Cole.
I looked at it as this. If you're I'm not kidding you. I'm on your side. Why are you coming at me?
I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying.
But my big thought was, if you're gonna get rid of Cole and you're gonna get rid of Kutch, why don't you package the two for a big name guy that's gonna come here and is gonna produce, not for two rookies that you're gonna hope to pan out.
No, but the thing is, they're not gonna trade a big. They're not gonna get a big piece out of it. They're gonna get prospects. They're gonna get low-end rookie type players who just started in the MLB. They're not gonna trade Cole and Kutch for, like, I don't know, like a Giancarlo Stanton type player.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing with you about that. I mean,
you
look at how many people developed though after leaving the Pirates. I'm not knocking the Pirates or anything.
No.
But look how many people. A big one that comes to my mind is Jose Bautista.
Yeah.
Look at the dude rakes. The dude rakes.
He does.
The dude rakes. Okay, just put him in perspective. If you keep him in Pittsburgh, do you see him panning out the way he did?
I don't think so. Because back whenever he was, the Pirates were a joke.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, they're not. Okay, things have obviously gotten better. They're not.
Yeah, well, no, I agree that. I agree with that. I think things have gotten 110% better. I don't think. I don't know. It's so hard to get invested in a team when they're. You know what? The prime example of this is you can compare the Pirates on a basis, not to be rude because we win games here in Pittsburgh, but you can compare them to the Cleveland Browns a little bit because. Let me finish. But here's my thing.
Wrong.
Here's my thing though. My thing is look at Cleveland fans. They're what 0-14 going into this week. The last person to win a game in Cleveland? Who was the quarterback?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know who it was either. I thought you knew. That's why I asked.
No.
But those dudes, they're fans. They're diehard fans. So they're going to go support that team. It's 0-14, but they're going to go support that team. The Pirates aren't the best team in the NFL. It just shows you fan philosophies. Do you understand what I'm saying here? A little bit is so the fan philosophy in Cleveland is people not comparing, like not saying. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. What I mean and what I'm saying is that the Pirates fan base is relevant to look at to the Cleveland Browns fan base. Is they're not the best team.
But the Pirates can barely sell out.
But that's what I'm saying. So
but Cleveland at least sells out their football games.
Cleveland has not sold out a game in the last 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah,
well, 2 weeks.
Yeah, they have not sold out a game in the last 2 weeks.
Well, because they're 0 and whatever.
Yeah, my point. That's what I'm saying is.
But fans are still coming when they're 0 and 5, 0 and 6.
Yeah, but their fan base is still there.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm getting at is the Pirates fan base is still there. There's still people. I can tell you right now, my grandfather is a diehard Pirate fan, but that's what I'm trying to get at here is the fan base factor is a big thing, and so to increase that fan base, I'm gonna sound like a real jerk when I'm saying this, but go make your team better.
They have to.
You know what I mean? Go make your team better is sort of what I'm saying.
I mean, MLB does not have a salary cap. You got to contend with big market teams like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Cubs.
Exactly.
And if you're not forking over the money to try and, I mean, not saying that you have to go sign Giancarlo Stanton for how much money he's making
exactly.
and add him to the team.
I said,
you just got to get role players who help the cause.
Well, you could get somebody like a D. Gordon, a dude in Miami who I think he just got traded. I'm not too sure about that.
I think he did.
But you could go fork for somebody like him, and then that upgrades your infield a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That upgrades your infield a little bit. Then you get a little more. Then you get a little bit more speed. So now you're not 100% relying on Kutch's speed on the base path. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean they have a problem at third base because Jung Ho's not coming back this year. He's not coming back. I mean, David Freese is not an everyday third baseman anymore.
I like David Freese.
Oh yeah,
I like David Freese.
He's just not an everyday. He can't play. He can't play 162 games.
No, I like David Freese.
Then I don't know. You put Sean Rodriguez there. I don't know.
Hey, I'm just going to go on record here and say that I watched Sean Rod hit an absolute nuke against the Brewers a couple years ago up on the second level of the Rotunda. That was awesome. And I it was just great. But like you said, I don't know. I don't know what you do going forward.
The biggest flaw.
Neither of us are experts here, so I can't tell you what to 100% go on at this and figure out something to do. But I like how you mentioned the salary cap.
I mean, my biggest flaw with this team was the bullpen this year. The bullpen was terrible. Their record was 27-28. I mean, and looking at teams like the Dodgers, they were about 10 games over. Their bullpen was about 10 games over 500 record.
Yeah,
like 29-14, I believe it was.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that was from Fangraphs. I mean, their ERA was 3.84, which was about middle of the MLB, which isn't too bad. But they just came in and blew games.
Oh, dude, no.
They could not get a save. And
no,
like,
I don't know.
Unless your starting pitcher went 8 innings and Riviera came in to shut the door, they were probably going to lose that game.
Oh, yeah. No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I mean, I don't like to compare it to this, but the same thing with Washington and their bullpen. The Nationals are in the same sort of boat in a way because their bullpen's the same sort of thing as the Pirates. You have arguably one of the best pitchers in the MLB in Max Scherzer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just going forward, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. So I'm going to end my part on this deal in saying go Steelers and go Penguins. I'm not going to sit here and say let's go Bucks because you have not done anything to win my heart. So you can say whatever you want to finish that off.
I mean, I don't know. It's just tough to determine because the team does not get the. Back in 2013 and 14, when they were the 96-win team, they needed one more pitcher or one more hitter to put them over the top, and the ownership and the general manager did not go out to get him.
Yep, I agree. Well, that's it for today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and well, go Steelers and let's go Pens. But
go Pirates.
Yeah, you can say that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. And that's all for today.